Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Zahra. Saya ingin mengumpulkan tugas ujian mapel pronounciation praktik. Jangan lupa sebelumnya membaca bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I'd like to turn now to the object which is the main point of this talk. The helix. This is a fascinating mathematical object which touches many parts of Earth's lives. Movement, the natural world, the manufactural world, and organic makeup are all connected to the shape of the helix. A helix is a type of three-dimensional curve that goes around a central cylindrical shape in the form of a spiral, like a corkscrew or a spiral staircase. The helix is a very popular shape in nature because it is very compact. In fact, helices are sometimes referred to as natural space swapper. In architecture, the helix shape of a spiral staircase is an attractive option in buildings where space is very restricted. The most renowned type, the helix, is probably the double helix of DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is made of two helices that curve around each other a bit like a twisted ladder. DNA is made of the helices that curve around each other a bit like a twisted ladder. DNA contains the genetic information or code that determines the development and functioning of all known living beings. The helix shape is a very efficient way to store a long molecule like DNA in the limited space of a cell. There are different types of helices. Helices can twist clockwise, right-handed, or clockwise, left-handed. An interesting experiment is to hold a clockwise helix, such as a corkscrew, up to a mirror. The clockwise helix appears to become counterclockwise. We can precise example is helices in many areas of our world. There are different types of helices. Helices can twist clockwise, right-handed, or unclockwise, left-handed. An interesting experiment is to hold a clockwise helix, such as a corkscrew up to a mirror. The clockwise helix appears to become counterclockwise. We can perceive examples of helices in many areas of our world. Spiral staircases, cables, screw and ropes, and be right-handed or left-handed helices. Helix that goes around a cone is called a conical helix. Example of conical helices are screws or the foam spiral lamp designed by the architect Frank Lloyd Wright in the Guggenheim Museum in New York. Helices are also very prevalent in the natural world. The horn of certain animals, viruses, seashells, and the structure of plants, flowers, and leaves can all contain helices. Human umbilical cord is in fact a triple helix, with the discovery that the helix is the shape of the DNA molecule. It is not surprising that the helix is found in so many areas. One of the most natural shapes in nature. Let's turn our attention now to the mathematical description of the helix. You'll need a pen and paper of the next part of the talk, as I am going to give you some variables of write down. Take your time to note the difference.
Terima kasih yang sudah nonton. Bye-bye.